more. Let's bring in newly sworn in Congresswoman Monica De La Cruz of Texas. Congresswoman De La Cruz, congratulations to you. You have had a heck of a first week. Tell us what it was like to be there through the drama of these last few days.
Well, it has been an exciting week, an emotional week that obviously played out in front of the American people. And you know what? Look, this is what democracy is all about, having an open, robust conversation with agreements and some disagreements. We don't live in China or Cuba under a dictatorship. We want a democracy where we can openly discuss and then come to a conclusion, which we did last night and elected Speaker McCarthy.
Yeah, even Kevin McCarthy, who I think has been very poised, very even keel throughout all of this, despite all of the pressure, said, hey, you know, at the end of the day, this is going to be a good thing. I view this as a good thing for the conference. We settle our differences and then we move on. And hopefully they will do that. We're all interested to see what next week brings. On to really what is our breaking story for this weekend. President Biden will be visiting our southern border tomorrow en route to a summit meeting in Mexico after 2 years of failure to address or he's even gone out of his way to minimize the crisis at the border. What do you want to hear from the president when he's on the ground in your state tomorrow?
What I want from President Biden is his trip, not just to be a photo op, but to actually talk to the people who's most affected by this border crisis, catastrophe. And remember, this crisis is a self-inflicted wound by the president. When in the last administration, we had one of the most secure borders that we saw go to a complete catastrophe with a humanitarian crisis. I want him to talk to Border Patrol agents on the front lines, small business owners who are affected by this, especially when Title 42 is eventually lifted.
Yeah.
He needs a long-term plan. And that's what I hope we hear when he goes to the Lone Star State.
The other day at the White House, the president outlined some elements of what he calls his immigration plan as the border crossings continue to soar. Take a listen to this, Congresswoman.
If you don't apply through the legal process, you will not be eligible for this new parole program. Let me reiterate. You need a lawful sponsor in the United States of America, number one. And you need to undergo a rigorous background check, number two.
So he wants to put folks into this new system. Is this a real strategy to reduce the crossings or a way to reduce the numbers that are reported as sort of window dressing, which is what some of the critics are saying about it? Your thoughts?
Well, President Biden has often spoken words, but not followed through and not actually done what he says he's going to do. What he needs to do is, number one, re-implement the Remain in Mexico policy. He needs to stop the catch and release program. And we need to work with our friends in safe countries south of us, where people can actually, or migrants can actually apply for asylum in those safe countries. Yeah. And what President Biden has done is just say we have an open border with wanting Title 42 to be lifted and not have a plan in place. Yeah. We need to give the Border Patrol agents the resources they need to protect our borders and our communities.
I want to switch gears with you. This incoming Republican congressional class, of which you are a part, is perhaps the most diverse in history. Republicans continue to make strides in their outreach to Latinos all across the country. From a policy standpoint, Congresswoman, what do they need to do now that they have control of the House to continue that outreach to those constituencies?
Well, we made some amazing gains in the 2022 election. In fact, in Hidalgo County specifically, which is just south of my district, that is a district that in 2016, Hillary Clinton won by 40%. Now, just to give you an idea, Hidalgo County is 93% Hispanic. the RNC Speaker McCarthy and my team did a lot of work in this county. And the result of it was that we swung that county almost 30 points. 30
Wow.
points. That's just incredible. We have a lot of work to still do, but I'm very proud of what we have done. And I think we're going to see some emerging leaders in these next 2 years and have a greater impact in the 2024 cycle.
And maybe you will be one of them. Congresswoman Monica De La Cruz, congratulations to you, ma'am. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.